We were talking about things that perhaps should evolve or change in Aikido, and I think this is common across many martial arts, in fact many skill sets that are taught by experts, and that is how do I say this politely? The misuse of language. Okay? Now I'm going to speak from an Aikido point of view because this is where it hurts me the most, but I've seen this in football. You guys call it soccer, don't, that's not what it's called. I've seen this in football, I've seen it in rugby, I've seen it in cricket, I've seen it in boxing, not so much in boxing, but here's an example. A class full of Aikido people all standing there. Are you present? Are you present in your feet? And they'll stand there waving their arms about, and then they move on. Now, what does that even mean? If that entire class was based on explaining what that instructor actually meant by being present in their feet, whether it was the mindset, whether it was the stacking of the structure, whether it was the breathing, whether it was the combination of all sorts of things, whether it was the intention, whether it was being in the here and now, but none of that is mentioned. It's kind of like a buzzword. What was the other one I saw the other day? A softer Aikido style. I'm not having a pop at anyone in particular. I've got no problem. No, doing breathing stuff. Talking about connecting to the divine mind. And again, that was just left there. What the does that even mean? Really? I mean, it's just... And the danger, I think, is that it allows instructors that are teaching something but don't have a kind of a full enough knowledge to go into detail about what they're trying to put across and back it up with information that's relevant to the levels of the people in the class. It allows them to appear like they've got some mystical higher level knowledge, and no one gets anything. And the more this happens, the more it's just accepted, and it's utter nonsense. Now, the biggest one probably in Aikido, and I apologise if I've upset anybody, is the use of the word ki. It's in the name of the art. People talk about extending ki and dropping their ki and projecting their ki and all that kind of stuff. Now, Sensei Clyde, who you've seen on this channel quite a lot, he did a session at one of our last camps, and he was talking about extending ki. And that's fine. He then spent an hour going into biomechanical detail, emotional content detail, body movement detail, of what he meant by that. So it became a representative word for a collection of forces and movements and actions. That's absolutely fine. But when you're just blasé saying do this ki and ki, and if it's some kind of mystical thing that's going to come down and allow you to propel people across the, like Yoda with the Force, it's utter nonsense. It's delusional. And it's destroying the art. You cannot use it as an excuse for the fact that you can't do proper technique. And that's what happens a lot, unfortunately. And I'm not setting myself up some fantastic expert. I'm just saying I've been around a long, long time, and I've seen this get worse and worse and worse. People use these kind of misleading smoke and mirrors language that makes them appear to have some kind of higher level knowledge. And it's just utter nonsense. So please, if you catch yourself in your dojos, I mean, you can be as rude as you like in the comments. Please be polite, but I totally accept other people's opinions on this. But if you find yourself using a term that when you think about it, you either haven't explained what you mean by that, and the very rare occasions I'll talk about ki, I'll try and say what I mean. Most of the time with me it's intention. Or if you're talking about something else that's a bit existential, at least try and explain it so your students know what you're representing. Otherwise, you're being misrepresentative. You're pretending that you've got some higher knowledge that they can't understand, and imagine what that's going to happen. Your students, when they become teachers, will do the same thing. Anyway, my apologies for the rant, but it was one of the things that was irritating me slightly. If anyone's got any thoughts on this, or they've got some examples of this that they think need addressing, either get in contact, reply down in the comments, because I think it's something that is critical if we're going to stop the art falling off a cliff. Thank you.